Hello, everybody. I wanted to show an update on my teleop slash fleet control system. And yeah, so I got a lot to show, so I'll try to do this quick. Here is the robot. It's one to one with that robot over here. And, you know, if the robot was moving forward, it would show this. That is for sideways, turning, backwards. But yeah, so let me get the robot connected here. Oh, it's okay. Boom. Okay, that button gets us online. And then we have right here. This is a web app that's embedded in Unreal. I thought that was really cool if you're working with larger teams or other people who are building web apps. You can integrate that into Unreal seamlessly and even take off compute from Unreal and have it, on a web app. But just super cool. You can integrate with your team or third parties. But yeah, so this is one that I had Riplet make me, and it's got this output log. It's got my PC and the rover, and they're on different IP addresses. And I'm using Tailscale to make them think they're on a local area network, even though that's on my mobile hotspot and this is on my home internet. But if you click this button, it pairs them. And now we're fully teleoperating via WebSocket TCP. And if I go forward, sideways, so pretty cool, pretty responsive, about half a second to 2 seconds, depending on my log cabin Oregon internet, but that's pretty quick. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, and I could go faster with UDP messaging. Figured I just wanted it to be, like TCP and WebSockets, they have to like confirm each other, but UDP is more just broadcasting. I think you'd use a mixture of those for certain movements, use UDP, but for mission critical stuff that you need to confirm, you would use a different thing like TCP. But I also have this 2D map that is one to one with this GPS. I just made this GPS up for now. But yeah, so you can see that my robot's right here. And that works well because if I spawn my digital twin in here, boom. Um, then my digital twin, this is a top-down camera from the digital twin in Unreal. So there's a camera above this rover that has an orthographic orthographic view. And I was thinking that you could compare the digital twin to the real the real uh, the real map, the real GPS satellite imagery. So you can see these two trees are these two trees over here, and if you go to the digital twin view, you can see those two trees. And so I was thinking you can compare the digital twin overhead with the satellite imagery that's real offline and get GPS or offline GPS navigation. If you start comparing your digital twin to satellite imagery, and if it's calibrated or one to one, you could use filters and OpenCV to mask it and blur it, so AI has better at reading and comparing those images. But pretty cool way to get offline navigation and GPS. I hope that makes sense. But this is a real GPS satellite imagery offline, and then this is the digital twin. So essentially, just a camera in Unreal above, like that's the robot right there. Um, but yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. Got some cool effects for it when it spawns in, just because why not? Um, and yeah, and then so I have also this live feed via web, RTC, and media MX or MTX. But yeah, you can see me over here. Um, so that's pretty cool, and it's pretty quick. One, two, three, pretty good. And you can also project the imagery out in front of you. And I was thinking about having like lower opacity so you can kind of see through it, and calibrate. If there's like a person here, whoops, you could maybe mask out the person and have a billboard 2D cutout with live footage of the people out there populating your digital twin. Also, this is highly tessellated, so I'm going to, with this AI depth camera, be able to depth offset, right? So I could have the mesh actually use the depth as a depth mask and vertex offset it. And yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. So yeah, you could start navigating without GPS by calibration of your digital twin and satellite imagery, or from above or from this angle, and all sorts of cool stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at today. Made some big progress. I also have been learning tons about the hardware and electronics. So I've been 3D printing my own stuff here, and I'll show that here shortly. But yeah, pretty cool. I'm fully teleoperating this robot. Got all these cool features, and then I have this button here that will be LiDAR. It's not working yet, but I've done this before where you can take the LiDAR data and then bring it in and use a Niagara particle effect and spawn all that LiDAR data. So you'll have LiDAR view, and you'll start to be able to, you can see I'm starting to like, you'll have multiple robots roaming around, and you'll be able to see them in here, and if it spots a human or spots a vehicle or spots a fire or whatever your tasks are, you can start populating this digital twin, so it's getting more mission updates and telemetry and stuff like that. Oh yeah, and then this is kind of cool. This is recording every movement and everything you do. Whoops. And then there's a button right here that it exports a text file of everything and the timestamps so that you could then upload it to something else for telemetric overview or telemetry, that you could re-watch a mission and see everything, you know, and scrub through it and stuff like that. But pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so it's all working. It's all, you know, we're moving the robots through the internet right now. I was also thinking of some fun ideas where, you know, humans can only hear certain spectrum of the audio range, and I was like, and you know, I used to be able to jailbreak. I haven't tried it with ChatGPT 5, but ChatGPT 4, I would use like a coding agent and ChatGPT and make up a language, and then have the coding agent make me a cipher, and you could have these robots talking in made-up languages that you make specifically for the mission, you know, because an AI can make up a language in 5 minutes, right? But have them talking to each other verbally with speakers and microphones, but it's at a frequency that humans can't hear, or, you know, humans above the age of 13 can't hear. Just thought that'd be kind of a fun, clever way to get them to communicate, where you're just, you know, it's just audio, and but we can't hear it because it's too high pitch or too low pitch or whatever. Thought that would be an interesting way to have these robots communicate in, you know, Wi-Fi and satellite and GPS denied scenarios. But yeah, pretty fun, pretty cool, and yeah, I'll show you guys my robot build right now. All right. So yeah, this is the robot build that I've been building here. I've been 3D printing a lot. Right now I'm just using PLA because, you know, I'm just prototyping, getting it all functional, and then I'll either make it metal or print with, you know, carbon reinforced or harder plastics that are more robust. But yeah, so we got the robot here. They got the wheeled ones up there. This is a tracked one. And so I 3D printed these screws with these wing nut bolts. Pretty cool, but you know, you start building this out. I wanted it to be super modular, and that, you know, anyone on the field, you don't need a technician, you don't need anything like that. You just, you know, very Lego plug and play here. And so you have these wing nut bolts that you strap on. Oops. Okay, yep. And then you got, so these support systems, you can bolt it down here. And then I have this. So I have this I printed. This is the bridge, and it fits perfectly. This servo right here, bolt that down, fits perfectly in there. And then you put this in here, and then, you know, plug these in through here and here, and then you got your bridge. And then I'm working on this mount. I got these bearings and this Lazy Susan. This bolts right into here, and then this connects the turret to the bridge, and then this is my airsoft gun here, and this would sit upside down because, you know, center of mass was too high up here, I thought, so I was trying to be clever. So then the turret will be up, down, and rotate. And this is also better for, you know, ammunition, where you would have it like this, and it's way easier to change out ammunition rather than, whoops, right here. So pretty cool. And then I was working on this prototype where you'd have this kind of pull the trigger, but I started getting way more clever with it. And so I have this thing I 3D printed with this servo, and this is going to, let me switch this around, attach right here. And then the servo is going to pull the trigger, and we take it off here, and it would pull like that. You could also set it to full auto. So that's pretty cool. Just this linear servo attachment I modeled and 3D printed. And then, oh yeah, so I made even more of an adjustment today where, so the servo, where's that guy? So then I got these guys, and the servo is going to connect in here, and then this guy goes on the other side. So you have this right here, and then this is the mirrored image on the other side. So they connect like this, and then you have a bolt that you put through there, and this yanks the trigger back in a more uniform way. And then I have this here that would wrap around the bolt on this side as a rubber band to give it more tension backwards. But yeah, just making lots of cool stuff here, and got it all going. So we got the teleop going, we got the robot going, and now I'm just building this this turret here, and we should be golden to go teleoperate some Terminators. So pretty cool.